Picture this. Angel Reese sits down for what should be a routine media session after another blowout loss, this time against the New York Liberty. The cameras are rolling, reporters are listening, and then something happens that nobody expected. In a moment that her PR team probably wishes they could erase from existence, Reese appears to let something slip that completely contradicts the narrative we've been hearing for weeks about Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever fans. The WNBA investigation found no evidence of racist comments at the Fever game. But what Reese just admitted on live TV might be the real story here. The real question is, what exactly did Reese say when she thought nobody was paying attention? If you stand with the Fever and don't believe Reese, then comment, "I've got the Fever" down below. Let's go. Remember the guy that God, I guess, was out there waiting for him supposedly when the team was coming out, and of course we saw footage of that, and there was nothing malicious to it whatsoever that anybody could see, and then of course, the Indiana Fever fans were yelling racist things or making racist noises out around the court. WNBA did an investigation, found nothing. The WNBA spent weeks investigating alleged racist comments at the Fever vs. Sky game, but their conclusions surprised nobody except Reese and her fans. When the league launched their official investigation, they didn't mess around. They interviewed fans who were sitting in the sections where the alleged incident supposedly happened. They talked to team staff from both the Indiana Fever and Chicago Sky. Arena personnel got questioned too. Security footage from every angle got reviewed frame by frame. It is embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. It is absolutely embarrassing. And the fact is that originally it's, we're looking towards everything. Then they had to double down. They actually redacted this statement. They redacted a statement. They redacted the statement saying we're looking at everything. Saying, no, we're actually not looking at most of the stuff. We're looking at a lie spread on social media that went viral. We are looking into a literal lie spread on social media that got spoken into fact. We're looking at a lie. You know what they found after all that work? Absolutely nothing. Zero evidence of any racist behavior from Indiana Fever fans. The league's investigation team went through hours of video footage, audio recordings from broadcast equipment, and interviewed dozens of people who were actually there that night. Not one person could provide any proof that these alleged incidents actually occurred. This is where it gets really interesting. Coach Tyler Marsh from the Chicago Sky admitted something that should have been front-page news everywhere. His team had no idea about any alleged racist incidents until they saw posts about it on social media after the game. Think about that for a second. The coach of the visiting team, who would be the first person to know if his players were being targeted, learned about this controversy from Twitter and Instagram. Not a single player from either team heard anything during the actual game. No coaches reported incidents to officials. No referees noted any disruptions from the crowd that would suggest racist behavior. The entire controversy was built on social media posts that had no video evidence backing them up. No audio recordings. Just text posts claiming things happened. The Chicago Sky organization was caught completely off guard by allegations they never witnessed firsthand. Their players were apparently fine during the game, showed no signs of distress, and never complained to coaching staff about fan behavior. Yet somehow, hours later, social media was buzzing with claims of racist incidents that nobody at the actual game seemed to notice. I didn't think these things would be a topic this year. It's certainly not at this point. But here we go again, because now Indiana Fever players, are getting called into question. Indiana Fever fans are getting called into question today. We got one post on here where somebody's literally calling that they're talking about there should be a boycott. That's what it really is, of the All-Star game over player safety. Here's what really happened. Someone posted on social media claiming they heard racist comments. Other people shared those posts. The story grew and spread without anyone bothering to verify if it was actually true. Before you know it, major sports media outlets were reporting on alleged incidents that apparently never occurred. If nobody in the building heard anything racist, if security cameras caught nothing, if players and coaches were unaware until social media told them to be upset, where exactly did these claims come from? The WNBA's official statement said the reports were not substantiated, which is league speak for this didn't happen. What the league discovered during their investigation set the stage for something even bigger that was about to unfold. The league is also taking a big L because there's no apologies to any fans whatsoever. on this totally BS statement released by the WNBA. Yeah, you found nothing. That's great. That's accurate. Guess who told you would find nothing? The entire Indiana Fever fan base said you weren't going to find anything. But this league that has never turned a profit decided to accuse their own fans during what should have been a routine media appearance. Angel Reese said something that completely contradicted everything we'd been told. Reese appeared comfortable, maybe too comfortable, sitting back in her chair like she was chatting with friends instead of talking to reporters. But then something shifted in the conversation. A reporter asked about the criticism she's facing. Reese's body language changed slightly. She leaned forward and started talking in a way that sounded different from her previous carefully crafted statements about being targeted by Fever fans. What came out of her mouth next contradicted weeks of narrative building. Reese seemed to suggest that the whole situation never happened, and that she's never had a negative interaction with a fan ever. She talked about how things get twisted online and how people jump to conclusions without knowing what really happened. The way she phrased it made it sound like she was admitting the controversy wasn't as serious as everyone made it seem. This admission directly conflicted with everything we heard before. For weeks the story was that Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky faced horrible racist treatment from Indiana Fever fans. Media outlets ran with stories about how the league needed to protect players from hostile environments. Reese had been positioned as a victim who needed support from the WNBA and her teammates. The reporters in the room started looking at each other. You could see them realizing they were witnessing something significant. Within minutes, clips of Reese's comments started showing up on social media. Basketball Twitter went crazy. People started dissecting every word she said, comparing it to her previous statements. Quote, "I get so much love in person, I've never had a negative counter in person ever." What did the league just go through 3 weeks ago? Over what was supposed to have been this race hoax, it turned out to be a race hoax, but this big situation in which the Indiana Fever fans were hollering racist remarks and making racist noises, and the league, 10 days this went on, this fiasco went on, and Angel Reese just admitted to the world she'd never encountered a single negative person at all. This moment exposed the huge gap between the public story and reality. The official narrative painted Fever fans as problematic, but now Reese seemed to be walking that back in real time. Her comments suggested that social media amplified something that maybe wasn't that big of a deal to begin with. When you connect this admission to the WNBA's investigation findings, everything starts making sense. The league found no evidence because there probably wasn't any evidence to find. Coach Tyler Marsh said his team learned about the controversy from social media, not from actually experiencing it. Now Reese was essentially confirming that the whole thing got out of hand online. Angel Reese, she goes on and she talks about how she doesn't hear about the outside noise, how she's never had a negative encounter in real life, never had a negative encounter in real life, but man, there's no way. There's no way she's never had a negative encounter, you see. You see, this is proof of the negative encounter. The WNBA even conducted an investigation about this negative encounter. No way, Angel Reese said that. No way. The live TV slip-up became the smoking gun that validated what the WNBA investigation already discovered. Social media created a controversy that didn't really exist, and Angel Reese just accidentally admitted it on camera. The fallout from this revelation was about to get ugly fast. Ada Reese doesn't care about y'all. Is what it is. She's never had a bad encounter in real life, never had a bad interaction with a fan in real life. Then what was the whole point of this WNBA sham investigation? If you never had a bad encounter with a fan in real life, if you've never had a bad interaction with a fan in real life, then why not just come out, earn yourself some brownie points and say, come on. Nothing took place here. These are just some Twitter trolls. These are my Reese's pieces making up news just to keep me relevant. Why don't you just come out and say that, Angel Reese? You'd probably get a little bit more, respect. Doing something honorable like that. While the WNBA was clearing the air, Angel Reese's team was busy trying to control the narrative in ways that backfired spectacularly. The Chicago Sky's PR team went into full damage control mode after the allegations surfaced. They started limiting Reese's media availability in ways that seemed suspicious to reporters covering the team. Press conferences got cut short. One-on-one interviews became rare. When Reese did speak to media, team representatives stayed close by, ready to jump in if questions got uncomfortable. I mean, what in the world is happening here? So we go and say, hold up, let's rewind. Last June, Angel Reese claimed that a white Caitlin Clark fan blocked her and her teammates from entering a team hotel while calling her, quote, a ghetto bitch. Last month, Reese said she had a rough week because she heard a Fever fan shout racial slurs while she shot free throws. Now she says no one has ever said a mean word to her in person. This heavy-handed approach drew attention from media figures who noticed the unusual restrictions. Sports reporters started asking why Reese needed so much protection if she was simply a victim of racist fans. The tighter the Sky organization tried to control access, the more people wondered what they were trying to hide. Reese initially played up the victim narrative perfectly. She expressed gratitude for support from the league office and her teammates. Social media posts showed her thanking fans who stood by her during this difficult time. She talked about how meaningful it was to have the WNBA take these allegations seriously and investigate thoroughly. The WNBA investigated both Reese's accusations and found nothing. In fact, well, I've called her the Bubba Smollett, or the, Jessie Reese, Jessie Smollett, Bubba Wallace. I mean, she's right there now. She's in that company with false race hoaxes. But this victim storyline started cracking when people dug deeper into what actually happened. The growing evidence showed the entire incident was fabricated from social media speculation. No witnesses, no video, no audio. Just posts that spread like wildfire without any verification. Reese's past actions started coming back to bite her. People remembered her reposting TikTok videos that mocked Caitlin Clark after their college championship game. Screenshots of those posts circulated widely, showing how Reese had previously used social media to attack Clark and her fans. The hypocrisy became obvious. She was now claiming to be a victim of online harassment while having a history of participating in it herself. In fact, she even posted a more recent TikTok about Clark as a white girl running from the fade. But this was put out right here. Again, hell, I thought it was fake originally. And I guess it's not. I mean, it's crazy. White girl running from the fade. There's Angel Reese right there. There's, of course, Caitlin Clark doing the responsible thing, not wanting to tank her public relations. Like Angel Reese walking away after the tank foul the other night, or the other day against the Chicago Sky. The mounting pressure intensified as more people questioned whether her claims were valid. Basketball fans started connecting the dots between the WNBA's investigation finding nothing and Reese's carefully managed media appearances. Critics pointed out that someone telling the truth wouldn't need such elaborate PR protection. The Sky organization's strategy was about to completely unravel. All their careful image management and controlled media sessions couldn't prevent what was coming next. Once Angel Reese's admission went public, the backlash was swift, brutal, and came from unexpected directions. Media personalities who had initially supported Reese's claims suddenly found themselves in an uncomfortable position. They had amplified a story that the WNBA investigation couldn't substantiate, and now they faced questions about their journalistic standards. Basketball reporters who covered the story without proper verification started getting called out by their peers and audiences. ESPN had one of the most embarrassing moments in recent memory. Their on-air personalities had to essentially eat their words during live television broadcasts. Anchors who previously discussed the racist fan allegations as established facts now had to acknowledge that the WNBA found no evidence supporting those claims. The network's credibility took a hit as viewers watched them backtrack on coverage they had presented with confidence just weeks earlier. Calls for apologies started pouring in from multiple directions. Fans demanded that major sports media outlets apologize for amplifying unsubstantiated claims that damaged the reputation of Indiana Fever fans. The WNBA faced criticism for not being more decisive in their initial response to what appeared to be a manufactured controversy. Some people argued that the league should have investigated more quickly instead of letting the false narrative spread for weeks. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are the best gift that the WNBA has ever had. I mean, and the fans, they show up and pack that place. I mean, sell out crowds every time Caitlin Clark plays. It's so great for Indiana, but it's good for the WNBA. But how dare you accuse our fans, the Hoosiers that show up at these games, being racist when they're not? This incident raised serious questions about whether Reese's supporters were actually the ones creating a hostile environment. Their aggressive defense of unproven allegations and attacks on anyone who questioned the story looked increasingly problematic. The Chicago Sky fanbase had gone after Fever supporters on social media, calling them racist without evidence. Now those accusations seemed baseless and mean-spirited. Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever fanbase emerged from this controversy completely vindicated. They had been unfairly targeted and labeled as problematic when they apparently did nothing wrong. The Fever organization and their supporters handled the false accusations with class, letting the WNBA investigation speak for itself rather than engaging in social media battles. The truth emerged that this entire controversy was manufactured through social media, speculation, and poor journalism. Angel Reese and her supporters ended up looking foolish for promoting a narrative that couldn't stand up to basic scrutiny. The incident exposed how easily false stories can spread in the social media age, particularly when they fit certain preferred narratives about racism in sports. Don't accuse our fans of being racist. I mean, that's the kind of garbage that gets thrown around all the time. It wasn't true. The investigation proved it, and there was that, but there was no outcome of it. There was no apology. Apologize to the fan. This entire mess exposed how social media can destroy reputations based on nothing but speculation and lies. Angel Reese created a controversy that never existed, damaged innocent fans, and got major media outlets to spread false information. Her credibility is shot. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever come out of this looking stronger than ever. They handled false accusations with class, while Reese's team scrambled to control a narrative that was falling apart. The 2025 season just got way more interesting. Every Fever versus Sky matchup will have extra intensity now that everyone knows the truth.